tell you something, I don't wanna waste no time.
On a Zoom with me is a Jack a hot hit from not so long ago, Rendezvous, which we're going to talk about the why and the how and the message. But Lucrecia
Right.
Rae and Gino Lee, welcome to my house in Brackpan, guys.
Hey, what's up, Danny? It's so awesome to be with you.
Awesome to be here.
Okay, so first things first, Rendezvous. Who approached who for this? How did this happen?
So, Lucrecia, I don't know if you wanna go first.
Okay, awesome. So actually, Gino Lee messaged me on Instagram and he was like, you know what, it would be amazing if you had original music to present to. I'm part of this showcase called IMTA. So he said, you know, once original music you can present to record labels at a later stage, you know, it would be great to have your own music to present. And that's basically how we decided to do the Zoom calls and decide to start working on some original music for me. And yeah, that's how Rendezvous actually came to be about.
Okay, so you guys did this over Zoom.
Right. Yeah.
How? I don't understand. Like, I know this is our life now. I know this is like how we do it, right? And I can do
Exactly.
an interview over Zoom. I can drink with my friends over Zoom, but I know them and I like working, I think, on a song or an EP or an album, whatever you're working on, writing. Surely there's got to be some kind of connection. You've got to be in each other's heads. Like, you got to be in that like space. How do you do that here?
Well, Danny, I think it was very interesting. There were so many variables involved, as you said. I mean, first being like Lucrecia and I only really once spoke over a Zoom call in a boot camp session once. So we weren't really familiar with each other. But I think the amazing thing about music is that it brings people together in so many unique and amazing ways. Music brought the two of us together, you know, both artists in our own right, who have performed quite a bit in our respective provinces. And I think that the Zooms were interesting just for me as well, because I had opened my recording studio in my hometown, Gqeberha, PE here in Eastern Cape. And I'd been running sessions, but ever since COVID hit last year, I'd had to kind of change the formula a bit because I wanted to minimize time in the booth and in the space. So I thought, why not actually write the song over Zoom? And then once the song is done, come to the studio, right? And it was really interesting, but I think, you know, it was such a blast because luckily the audio delay wasn't too bad. And because that was kind of one of my worries, but because, you know, when you're writing with somebody, it's almost like that back and forth, that energy needs to be there, right?
Yeah.
When you're exchanging creative ideas, you don't really want there to be a 10-second buffer before you hear the next melody line that you came up with. Yeah. So luckily Zoom was on our side, but it was such an interesting experience. And I think both of us learned so much from it.
How did you come up with the idea of Rendezvous? Like, how was the writing process? Tell me, Lucrecia, a little bit about like the background. Why this one?
So what basically happened was Gino had a few tracks already prepared for me to listen to. And then I remember the specific track that he played, like it just took me back to a time, like it literally gave me a backflash of myself and my family in Joburg. And we were actually watching this live band playing. We were having lunch, just having a great time together and relaxing. And I remember seeing this one special couple dance in front of the band, and it was something different for me. It was something rare. It was like they were so into each other and so in love with each other. Like they were the only two people that was in the room, like at that moment, you know. And that was something really special for me that I saw, and that I was like, that's how I knew that's what I want the song to be about. And I was like, I got the same beach vibes, summer vibes from when I listened to the track as well. So that is what inspired me. And, you know, when I heard Gino Lee's input on the song as well, I was like, no. I'm not going to take credit for all these great ideas. I really want him to hop on the track. And that is actually how he came to be a part of the song as well.
Lucrecia, is this your first one?
No, in the past I released the EPK and I released some jazz music. yeah, it was mostly jazz, but there was one R&B track on it as well. So for me, it was a very different experience, to do pop music, but I really enjoyed it. I grew up listening to pop music, so it was a fantastic experience working with Gino Lee and, releasing my first pop song.
Gino, why did you think that it would be important for Lucrecia to have this single, this particular pop single?
I think it's different between everyone that I work with. Um, each client has a different vibe. Each client has a different genre that I feel is best suited to them. But also at the same time, I never really tell the client and the artist what their brand should be. I want them to kind of discover it for themselves through the process. But I think for Lucrecia, the song really just came about because I had kind of watched a few of her live performances before. I'd heard her sing live, and this kind of vibe just came to me. And I'd wanted to make something really like old school and R&B for a while now. I mean, we're talking like early like Aaliyah vibes, Mary J. Blige vibes from like early 2000. So like this really fits into that world. And, it really spoke to the both of us. And I think it really gives off that like old school, just easy, laid back, feel good message as well.
Okay, so Rendezvous everywhere, obviously. It was a hot hit. It's on Jack. It's everywhere. You can get it everywhere. Lucrecia, starting with you. Where to from here? EP, album, touring? I don't know. I don't know if we're allowed to. What are we doing?
Yeah, so I definitely am looking forward to releasing a full album next year, 2022, because I really just want to release more of this music. I really feel like I want to go into the pop genre. I want to release more music similar to this, same type of vibe, and yeah, I would love to. I would love to just perform the song live. I would like to go. And so you never know, what can come from this experience. And I'm definitely gonna take all the opportunities coming my way.
And Gino, are you working on anything cool?
Well, right now, this is really one of my biggest focuses just because I haven't released a lot of original music. Recently, I've been more focused on my clients and the people coming to record at River Road Records. But, continuing to grow, trying to find some live performances. It's very scarce these days for artists, unfortunately, to perform live, but we make the most of it and we innovate and we find really cool ways to, break the boundaries and the barriers of what it means to be a musician in this day and age, in the age of COVID. But yeah, continuing to work with Lucrecia, continuing to work with also the amazing Elsubie Verlinden, who actually brought the two of us together. Mustn't forget to mention her. Such a pivotal point. And the reason why, actually, if you really want to go way back, why and how this whole thing came about. But, we're going to continue to work and we're going to continue to push perhaps a music video in the future, depending on, how well the people respond and, the feedback that we get. But it's been amazing so far. And we really want to thank everyone as well for supporting us.
So just speaking about Elsubie, I adore her. I've met her a couple of times now, and she's an incredible human being. But I think a lot of people look at the festivals that she hold and the workshop that she hold, and I think in like 2021 these days, people look at that and go, yeah, no. But
Right.
I've actually seen what can come from that. And it is incredible how many artists and models and actors and singers are getting gigs based off of the relationships that just purely on that, never mind Elsubie and her team, just the relationships that they are curating within those spaces. So talk to me, both of you, from your perspectives, each of you, how important spaces like that have been in your careers.
Lucrecia, you want to go first?
Awesome. So for me, like, it's been really important to build relationships, it's really important to network, and it's been just like life-changing for me because I met all these amazing individuals that, each one, they bring their own, set of things and set of sort of things that they went through in their life, and, things that you can learn from, things that you maybe can relate to that you've experienced as well. And I think that, working in the industry is one thing, but building those relationships is things that creates a support structure for you as well, which is so important to have as an artist. I think that because, nobody wants to really walk this path alone. You know, it's a difficult path. Not many people make it. So I think to me it's very, very super important to build those relationships.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, just adding on to that as well, relationships form a pivotal cornerstone in anybody's, I feel like, career, whether it be, you know, the music industry, any kind of business industry, especially in the music industry, because it's really like who you know and who knows you. I mean, I performed even before I met Elsubie, which was already like almost 10 years ago at this point. But before I even met Elsubie, I was performing all around my hometown. And through that process, you meet amazing people. And if you really cultivate and you nurture those relationships, it really blossoms into something bigger. I think Elsubie is the perfect example. Through her, I have met incredible people. I have traveled overseas. I've studied overseas. I've worked overseas. I've booked jobs in South Africa and New York and LA through her. I mean, so stick with the people in your life that really build you up, that afford you amazing opportunities. And when you can, and when you're able to, give back, you know, to kind of honor the respect of the relationship and give back in a way that, you know, fulfills the soul.
So pivotal. This is the advice I needed for this interview. Okay, so you are both young, you are both in this industry. There are human beings that are going to be looking up to you already and in the future. And it's a difficult industry. It has now changed completely from the industry that I've worked in my whole life to this new weird thing, this hybrid thing that we now, none of us really understand. But you guys are the youth, and you guys are the ones that are going to change this and create this new world. What advice do you have for someone your age and younger who wants to produce, who wants to record, who wants to be an artist, but now has no idea because the standard that we'd set, my generation, is now gone. You don't release and then tour. You're now Zooming and doing all of this. What is your advice for them?
So I would say really like focus on your brand, really know what your standards are, know what you stand for, and do your research. Don't just go and work with the first person that gives you an opportunity. Like do your research about the people that you are working with, and ultimately like make the most of your social media platforms. Go live, have that interaction with people, and keep building your brand, keep building your followers, and just be real. Like stay true to who you are, and always remember to be real, because that is what people is gonna or are gonna relate to it.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think, like you also said, Danny, I think the first thing to kind of do is like take that step back, right? Because I think in this COVID era, so much has happened, and I feel like there's so much trauma as well, mental trauma, and also emotional trauma. A lot of us have lost loved ones close to us. A lot of us are going through hectic mental issues because we've been so isolated. It does have an effect on us globally as a population. So it's just to really like take a step back, as a musician, realize what your reality is at this point in time, because it has changed. It was already changing, right, up towards the 2020s, with that turnaround of, okay, not performing first, right, and then like you perform, and then at the performance, you promote the single, right? Now the single promotes the performance, but now there is no performance anymore. So it's like this weird, it's like a total like zeitgeist change. So I think take that step back, really see what's going on around you. My biggest advice to artists is really look at what other artists are doing. See how they're popping off. See what how Doja Cat has taken over the whole TikTok platform. Like, you see, it's crazy. So, and I think she represents a whole new like breed of artists. So really learn, like Lucrecia said, like learn and educate yourself as to what's going on. And when you find that niche, you find the talent, you hone your craft, keep that commitment and keep that level of persistence. One biggest thing in the industry for me, apart from knowledge, is to keep consistency. Always be releasing music, always be creating content. See what's happening around you, speak on issues, build your brand, and collaborate and give back to the people that mean most to you in your life.
I am not worried about our industry at all. I think we'll be fine. You two seem to have it good. I think we're gonna be okay. Okay. Where can we follow you guys separately, together, all of the things? Give us all of the handles and the things.
So I am on Instagram as Gino Lee, and my handle is at Lucrecia Rae, and his handle is at Mr. Gino Lee. We are also on Facebook, same usernames, and yeah, our music is available on all streaming platforms. So definitely go and take a listen, and yeah, thank you to everybody that has supported so far.
Yeah, just give us a Google our names. I think the biggest thing is the spelling as well of rendezvous. That's kind of become like a thing because, it's like, it's that French word. So like people are like, oh. So just check out our socials and you see the correct spelling there. It's first a Z and then an S at the end. And just give us a Google, both of our names. You'll find all of our content on the streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, and also YouTube as well.
Stunning. Guys, thank you so much for your time. And like everyone, please do go stream the song, make TikTok videos with the song. We want this to blow up and we would really like a music video. I mean, just putting it out there. I'm just saying.
Yeah. It's in the works.
Guys, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Danny. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. It's an honor.
Yeah, we take it easy, cruising through the summertime.
Jacaranda FM.